pronounce it?
Prevennia.
Prevennia. Prevennia. Okay.
N.P.T.O Biosciences is actually the company.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Before I get started, I have to share with you, actually, by profession, I'm a board-certified colon hydrotherapist. I owned wellness centers in Texas and Florida and had one of the largest clinics in Florida for nearly a decade here. I retired from clinical practice in 2009. So I performed over 30,000 of those clinics you were talking about. And
offer me a compliment.
Yeah. So, yes, they are very important. I brought some notes with me. I'm not a professional speaker, but, the whole matter of this, coming from my background, during my time in practice, from a physiology standpoint, I absolutely understood the pathways and the triggering mechanisms and prevention and the manifestation of cancer. So it was a natural draw for me. But what I want to say this afternoon, first off, is I want to thank Donald Crutch for the man that he is and the difference that he is making in many people's lives. Absolutely. And I'm so honored to be the messenger of some major breakthrough regarding cancer. It will forever change the way health looks at the challenge of disease. And arguably, this has been considered the biggest discovery since antibiotics. Hold on to your seats, because what I'm going to share with you is actually going to change the lives of the people in this room today and those that you know. In my hand, I am holding 40 years and $38 million, and it's called Prevennia. With millions of dollars in grants from the National Cancer Institute and the U.S. Department of Defense, scientists that worked with the N.P.T.O Cancer Institute at the University of Nebraska in Omaha some decades ago decided to go down a different road, a different path, thankfully. Instead of trying to treat cancer once it manifested, they wanted to come to understand what was the actual triggering mechanism that created the cell mutation to begin with, associated with not only breast and prostate cancer, but many other diseases as well. And I'm so pleased to let you know that they have actually cracked the code. Prevennia is not only scientifically proven to block cell mutation associated with these particular types of cancers, but I just found out recently, this week, as a matter of fact, that it's showing a 100% positive results in the issue of leukemia patients. And also, it's strategically positioned in 6,000 other diseases because they have scientifically proven that Prevennia can block DNA damage, the mutation. There's no other product in the world that can make that claim. This is so critical because, as the lady was speaking earlier, there are so many things in our environment that virtually on a daily basis causes DNA degradation or damage. Even if you try to detox, which I know a lot about that, you try to have a good, healthy lifestyle, a good, et cetera. But it's our environment, our stress level affects a lot of these biochemical pathways. I have a short video that I'm going to share with you now, and regarding this life-saving announcement. You'll hear from Senator Fred Thompson, the scientist, Dr. David Longfellow, which is actually the former science director of the National Cancer Institute, and John Raffanti, the president of EQ Biosciences. Do we have that video?
Noted scientists Dr. Ercole Cavalieri and Dr. Eleanor Rogan have worked for years studying how estrogen starts this process and how to reduce the risk. Their body of research has led to the formulation of a dietary supplement called Prevennia.
Prevennia is based on over 35 years of research aimed at discovering the first step in the multi-step process that leads to cancer. Doctors Cavalieri and Rogan work with natural and synthetic estrogens, discovered the critical metabolite that can react with DNA. This leads to breast and prostate cancer.
Research has shown that the level of estrogen DNA adducts in a woman's body bears a direct relationship to her risk of developing breast cancer. Since men also have naturally occurring estrogen, similar results were found with respect to prostate cancer in men. Can a dietary supplement help people to maintain normal, healthy estrogen metabolism throughout their lives?
Our scientists have identified the triggering mechanisms by which breast and prostate cancer begins when a person's metabolism is out of estrogen balance.
Prevennia is a combination of 4 natural compounds, which when working together in unison greatly enhance the natural protection mechanism. When the body has a normal estrogen metabolism, the triggering mechanism is reduced. Prevennia assists the body in blocking that first step. If we only address illness once obvious symptoms make themselves known, in many cases it is already too late for treatment to be successful.
For the past 35 years, our research has focused on understanding how cancer-causing cells damage DNA to start the process that leads a cell to become a cancer cell. We began this by studying environmental pollutants, and what we learned from them enabled us to study how specific estrogen metabolites damage DNA to lead cells to become breast cancer cells in women or prostate cancer cells in men. Once we understood this, we shifted focus to study how to prevent this process from happening.
The key is maintaining a proper balance in estrogen metabolism, and that can change throughout the life cycle. If a single supplement can help prolong a high quality of life, that is significant.
I'm optimistic about the future. I think there are enough examples in medical history in recent times to show that simple modifications can actually abolish horrible life-shortening diseases such as spina bifida and polio. It'd be interesting to imagine life without cancer.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Inside Business. Until next time, I'm Fred Thompson. Success.
You know, I just get chills every time I hear this incredible news. You know, every 13 minutes, a woman dies of breast cancer in this country. Every day, 500 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer. But this is the dawn of a new day. And we think, well, we know that Prevennia potentially, drastically, has the potential to reduce the number of new cases and virtually eliminate reoccurrence. Dr. David Westbrook, one of our nation's leading endocrinologists, just last week, after conducting a thorough independent review of the hard data, is now not only endorsing Prevennia, but he is calling on every doctor to have every patient on it. Further, he has rendered the opinion that if a person was to take Prevennia as directed, that within 60 days it would bring their DNA adduct levels to 0, regardless of how high their levels may have been. Now, DNA adduct level is actually the measurement of DNA degradation or damage that is occurring in the body, and it can be measured through a urine analysis. Typically, these levels are very high in cancer patients. So the exciting facts that I am sharing with you today is that Prevennia, we know, scientifically proven, they've been working on it for 40 years, blocks DNA damage. And when there's no DNA damage, then there is no cell mutation. When there's no cell mutation, there is no cancer. It is published in over 200 findings to include the International Journal of Cancer, the Cancer Prevention Research, Breast Cancer, Basic and Clinical Research, Prostate, Journal of Steroid Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, and Future Oncology, with the latter giving an update on the human and on human trials and the ongoing work. We are very excited to learn that Dr. Westbrook and others will be coming to Jacksonville in October to speak. News about Prevennia is spreading across the country very quickly. Of course, there will be a public media campaign, but it is in communities like this and people like you and me that we need to help get the word out about this and begin saving lives immediately. Because Prevennia is a $38 million miracle that works without the side effects of drugs. The devastation physically, emotionally, and financially of disease, particularly breast and prostate cancer, to family and friends, it has been incalculable. So we are finally breaching that finish line. And there's absolutely no reason now to become another statistic. And ladies, you will be happy to know that Prevennia will also balance your estrogen levels, whether they're too high or too low, and reactivate your youth hormones. I have been personally taking Prevennia for almost a month now and absolutely love what it's doing for me. I can't imagine a day without it, and I thank God for it. The direct link for the Prevennia will be going up on the National N.P.T.O organization website. But today we have information for you. There are handouts, I believe, on the table outside where you can get started with us. And I would also like to thank Darnold and N.P.T.O, thank Trudy Pascucci, owner of Shades in Pink, and she's also the founder of WIB, which is the Women in Business Network, for being on a dynamic team with us as we move forward with campaigns of women saving women and men saving men. In closing, I would just like to say, the business or community leaders that are in this room, we invite you, we encourage you to lock arms with us. There's a way that you can participate and not only save lives, but be rewarded handsomely as well. So I invite any questions later. And thank you so much for your attendance. And I hope you go in spirit today and really help push this effort of all of us forward. Thank you so much, and God bless.